Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another rendition of Advective Weather. Jake here. Let's get to our top story today, Hurricane Lee. It is finally approaching a landfall spot, and that landfall spot is Maine, Nova Scotia, and the New Brunswick coastline. So this is very important. We haven't seen a tropical system there in a while. I think the last hurricane that made landfall, especially in that area, I think was 1969 near Mayport. But anyway, as of 2:20, I think this has been updated. It is currently a Category 1 with maximum sustained winds of 80 miles per hour. This is expected to go down as it approaches the Maine coastline. Why? There's going to be a lot of cooler waters that's going to be running over. So it's just not going to be good for the storm. It's just going to weaken as it approaches the coastline. And with that point, it's going to be post-tropical whenever it makes landfall. So either way, even if the storm is going to be kind of on the weaker side on landfall, localized flooding in urban areas, small streams, and little areas that may not be prepared for flooding is definitely going to be possible with this system. So definitely keep that in mind if you are in that area. And to kind of just to reiterate that track, Environmental Canada and the National Hurricane Center kind of have differing tracks. The Environmental Canada has a track. It's not going to be listed in the video, but it has a track that's kind of slightly east. It's going to try to mainly miss Maine, no pun intended, but it's going to just probably make landfall around the Nova Scotia, New Brunswick coastlines, while the National Hurricane Center is suggesting a kind of a midway approach where it's going to hit also Maine and also the Canada. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Regardless of whoever is ultimately affected by the strongest winds or not, this is still a serious thing to take seriously. And just to take a look at our current watches and warnings, we have tropical storm warnings up and down the Maine coastline. Definitely warranted with this system. And definitely what you can do, this is kind of be a weaker system, nothing like Hurricane Idalia, like we covered, or Hurricane Ian. This is just going to be kind of a small blip compared to the hurricane season. But nonetheless, we should still keep our friends over in Maine and Canada our prayers. So definitely keep an eye on low-lying spots. Flooding, localized flooding, especially in urban areas where that water just has nowhere to go, that's just going to be your biggest concern. So anywhere near Bangor, if you're near Augusta, if you're anywhere kind of along that edge, that coastline, eastern Maine, that's going to be kind of your big concern. I think Caribou is on the coastline. I'm not completely sure, but I digress. Definitely pay attention to your low-lying spots. That is number one. Keep an eye on media outlets. So this is going to cover our Canadian friends. So you're not going to be listening to the National Weather Service. You're going to be listening to Environmental Canada. So definitely listen to your local weather outlets, such as your National Weather Service if you're in America, Environment Canada if you're in Canada, and of course, Advective Weather for the latest updates on this situation. Make an emergency plan if you haven't already. This is most important because flooding is definitely going to be on the radar. It's not going to be as serious of a threat, but you should still keep in mind and keep in mind if there's going to be any damage or any rising water with this system. And because this is such a tropical system, people are not going to take this seriously. I doubt people are really going to evacuate. I really doubt you have to. But either way, you should stay home because there's definitely going to be some people out going to try to chase this thing. I wouldn't recommend it. Stay out of the way. If there is any flooding at all, you'll just be in the way of emergency management. So do your best to stay home, hunker down, make sure you have your emergency plans set up, and make sure you have a plan of escape and to a higher ground if flooding does hit your area. Thank you for watching this short episode of Advective Weather. This is definitely a situation that we're going to keep an eye out on for our folks in Maine and Canada. So definitely keep an eye on the channel. And of course, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe. And if you have any questions for us or you just want to talk to us at all, join the Discord. We're more than happy to talk to you about stuff. And as always, you have a great day and be safe out there.